ballistic missile defense system. Recently, India has tested one of the next generation ballistic missile defense system. So we'll talk about that. So let's understand this ballistic missile defense system. Ballistic missile follow the path of projectile, and they follow the similar principle. When you throw a stone, so the angle at which you throw and the speed at which you throw it will decide where it is going. In between, you cannot change its path, and initially its speed will be very high, but when it reaches the top, its speed would be lowest, and then again its speed will start increasing. This is the path that ballistic missile follows. Generally, long range missiles will be ballistic missiles. They say Agni 5 is our ballistic missile, intercontinental ballistic missile, whose range is 5,000 kilometers. So we can hit almost every part of China with the help of Agni 5. But China also has ballistic missiles. Pakistan also has ballistic missiles. So today, the thing that we are discussing is not actually ballistic missile, but ballistic missile defense system. Let's say from China, a ballistic missile is launched towards Delhi with a nuclear bomb in it. We have to defend against it. Ballistic missile defense system. Did we understand this? What are we going to speak about? When a missile is coming, ballistic missile is coming, attacking India, at that time, do we have systems which will be able to identify it, follow it, destroy it? This is ballistic missile defense system, BMD system. India recently tested the next version of it. India already have a indigenous ballistic missile defense system. India is also dependent on import. जैसे हम S-400 system लेते हैं. S-400 is a ballistic missile defense system which we are taking from Russia. But we are also developing indigenous ballistic missile system defense systems. This development started after Kargil. Kargil war made us realize that in future we may face these countries, China and Pakistan. They're developing ballistic missiles also, and we may be threatened by that. So we need to develop our defense mechanism. So that defense mechanism can come from systems which are imported, S-300 or S-400 from Russia, Prithvi or Ashwin that we are developing within the country. So we will talk about those systems. Achha, there's a few things that you should know about ballistic missile defense. Suppose this is the launch. Now it moves at a very high height. ये upper atmospheric region में move करेगा for some time. Here it is also at its slowest. It's not moving very fast. Whereas here it's moving very fast, while falling it's moving very. So here for your defense missile to reach there is difficult, but it is easy to target the missile because it's moving slowly. Whereas here it's moving very fast, here it's moving very fast. So your missile can reach these places quickly, but targeting the ballistic missile is difficult here because it's moving at a very high speed. And therefore, the defense system that we develop has two components. One is exo-atmospheric, other is endo-atmospheric. Endo-atmospheric, when this missile is within our atmosphere, we are targeting it then. And exo-atmospheric systems are those systems which are targeting this missile, this ballistic missile, when it is in the upper atmosphere. Are we getting it? Endo, exo, and these aspects? No. So what is ballistic missile defense system? Ballistic missile defense system is used in detection, tracking, interception, and destruction of inbound attacking ballistic missiles. It was initially conceived as a defense against nuclear armed ballistic missile, but today its scope has increased. It's not only focused on nuclear armed ballistic missile, but it can be used for different kind of missiles, airbound threats like aircraft, drones, etc. It can be used against them also. India's ballistic missile defense system, the development started happening after 1919 Kargil war, when in light of growing missile arsenal of Pakistan and China. Pakistan का जैसे missile arsenal बढ़ता है, China का जैसे missile arsenal बढ़ता है, India would be worried, and India started developing its own ballistic missile defense system. In phase 1, we are targeting missiles which have range of up to 2,000 kilometers. जैसे Agni 5 has range of 5,000 kilometers. Agni 2 has range of 2,000 kilometers only. तो ऐसे ही missiles Pakistan के पास है, China के पास है, whose range is 2,000 kilometers. In the first phase, we targeted those, and we have developed Prithvi Air Defence and Ashwin Air Defence. Prithvi Air Defence is for exo-atmospheric, when missile will be in the upper region. And Ashwin Air Defence is for endo-atmospheric. Prithvi and Ashwin are basically missiles themselves who will go and destroy these ballistic missiles. In this system, we also have developed swordfish radar, a long-range radar to be used for tracking the BMD system. In phase 2, we are targeting missiles whose range is up to 5,000 kilometers. Now in phase 2, we are developing ballistic missile defense systems which can target those missiles whose range is up to 5,000 kilometers. So China, India se 5,000 kilometers dur, when it will launch that ballistic missile, if that ballistic missile is targeted towards us, our system should be able to track it, should be able to destroy it. And for this, in July 2024, DRDO successfully flight tested phase 2 BMD system. Phase 2 ka BMD, like phase 1 is already there with us. Phase 2 ka ballistic missile defense system was tested. This missile was tested, AD1 missile. AD2 has not been tested. AD1 missile, it is a long-range interceptor for both low exo-atmospheric and endo-atmospheric interception. So exo-atmospheric ka lower wala portion, exo-atmospheric, upper atmosphere, outside atmosphere. Isme there can be higher exo-atmosphere, there can be lower atmosphere. So AD1 is focused on this lower exo-atmosphere and endo-atmosphere. So AD1 was tested. It can target long-range ballistic missile as well as aircraft. The two-stage missile is powered by solid propellant. It was earlier tested in November 2022 and has now been tested in July 2024. AD2 is still being developed. The missile is in development phase. It targets intermediate range ballistic missile whose range is between 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers. AD2 which is being developed. Fine. So these are the systems, AD1 and AD2. AD1 was tested recently. AD2 is still being developed. We already have Ashwin and Prithvi system, Prithvi and Ashwin system, which are targeted at missiles whose range is 2,000 kilometers. So ये तो factual aspect. Ballistic missile defense system which India is developing, about that the factual aspect. Now what is the significance? One significance is it ensures autonomy in defense sector for us. Right now for ballistic missile defense, we are dependent on countries like Russia. With the development of this system, India has become only the 4th country after US, Russia and Israel to have successfully developed its own BMD system. Even China did not have a BMD system when India developed Prithvi and Ashwin. Ballistic missile defense system they did not have. This will reduce India's dependency on other countries. For example, there has been delay in supply of S-400 defense system due to Russia-Ukraine war. So ab usme hum fas gaye na, because they are not able to supply S-400. So it's important that India has its own system. This will ensure autonomy in this sense. It also ensures security, because when we have defense system, chances that missiles would be launched on us are lesser. It can also lead to technological advancement. When we develop this tracking system, when we develop this attack system, these technologies can be used in other areas also. So overall science and technology advancement mein BMD systems development can play a role, and it can also play a role in regional stability. When chances of attack on India is lesser, means chances of war is lesser, the entire region remains more stable. If this deterrence is not there, this defense is not there, कल पाकिस्तान में कोई पागल रूलर आ जाएगा and बोलेगा चलो एक ballistic missile launch ही. It will make the region unstable, but India having its own ballistic missile defense system can increase stability in the region. Right, but there are problems also that it may cause. One, it may lead to arms race concern. BMD can lead to enemies participating in arms race and developing methods to thwart BMD, that is next generation of ballistic missile which can be not detected. It may happen. Pakistan and China may start developing that. Limited effectiveness. There is a need of regular upgradation, because dekho, the moment US has a ballistic missile defense system, then Russia is developing those kind of ballistic missiles which in the end will be able to maneuver, so that US ka ballistic missile defense system will not be able to target. Abhi, a few years back, Putin had very proudly announced, now we have missiles which can which can attack any part of USA without being tracked. Right. So here what we're saying is ballistic missile defense systems have limited effectiveness and they need to regularly be updated. This is another limitation which BMD system has. And then finances. Due to lack of economy of scale and dependence on some imported component, the cost of BMDs, cost of producing BMD in India is still very high. We are technologically dependent. We are producing very few of them. So we have not achieved economies of scale. So right now the investment and the overall cost in this system is pretty high, creating some issues, some challenges. So there are advantages it has, but there are issues and limitations also that it may have. So in conclusion, we are saying it is crucial for India's BMD is crucial for India's security, but it's important to continuously keep evolving and advancing this system so that advancements in the weapon system in other places don't make us vulnerable. So this defense kya hai? We're saying जैसे around your home you create a wall to protect yourself. But if the enemy weapon is becoming more advanced, you'll have to keep improving this defense. If you decide कि नहीं अब तो मैंने wall बना दी, life set है, then it will be a problem. And that is why that is how we are concluding. This defense system is crucial, but we have to be always on our toes, always keep upgrading it, in order for this to be really